Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week of the Pwamps Show. Let's get things going. Starting out with the NFL. I tell you what, this was a ho-hum week in the NFL. A lot of blowouts, not a lot of excitement, except for only in one game. It was the only game this week that was decided by less than 10 points. The New York Jets traveling into the jungle to take on the Bengals. Jets were out of this game for a long time. They come back. Justin Fields looks great. Breece Hall gets his first 2 touchdowns of the year. The Jets are no longer winless. They're in the win column, and the Bengals, they're struggling. This is going to hurt. Other than that, NFL, not a crazy week, folks. That is how the NFL looked. We'll get to that in a couple minutes when we get to our info board. Let's talk about college football. Here's the deal. We had our featured 4. We had our other 4. I always try to get you all to games that I think you're going to enjoy, games that could be some excitement. You might be throwing some popcorn in the air. I want you to know, if you watch these games that I showed you this week, you probably had a pretty good college football Saturday. Let's break it down. Mizzou, they're traveling to Vandy. This was an early college football playoff elimination game. Diego Pavia and the Commodores, they barely get it done. 17-10. This was a low-scoring affair. Big SEC game. Vandy, they now stay with only 1 loss in conference, while Mizzou, they are now 2-2 in conference play. Their college football aspirations, at least for me, are over. Vandy stays alive. Now, how about our next game? We got Western Michigan. We got Miami, Ohio. And I tell you what, we're in Oxford for this. Western Michigan, they look good. Okay, right now they were undefeated in conference play. This would have been a huge win to go into Oxford, stay undefeated. It's Miami. Big win for the Redhawks as they come out on top and end the undefeated conference season of Western Michigan. This was a fun little game. Now, how about this little test that we had? BYU going into Iowa State to take on the Cyclones. This was a nice little quarterback battle. You had Bear Burkmeyer for BYU. You had Rocco Beck for the Iowa State Cyclones. Guess what? Iowa State jumps out early here. A lot of people thinking, uh-oh, upset alert. BYU, they've kind of been a little Cinderella this season. They're done. Bear got it going. Got the offense in gear. BYU gets the win. They remain undefeated and leading the Big 12 Conference. Now, our last game. We got some storylines here. Texas A&M. They are solidifying that they're one of the best teams in college football this year. They are right now the powerhouse of the SEC. And guess what? This performance to go into Baton Rouge, to go into the Bio, it actually gave Brian Kelly a one-way ticket out of the Bayou. Brian Kelly fired last night. It kind of sent shockwaves through the college football playoff world. A lot of people, I know the LSU fans were saying, we saw signs, Kelly's got to go. And guess what? Brian Kelly is done. Got to point out, though, Brian Kelly, this was a great little coaching career. Started at Grand Valley, okay? Then you go to Central Michigan. You're in the MAC. Then you get to Cincinnati. Then you go to Notre Dame. Then that brings you to LSU. This was a great coaching career from Brian Kelly. Still is, but not getting it done in the games that mattered. Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback for LSU, he actually got benched late in the fourth quarter. He was frustrated. He was kind of roaming the sidelines like a lost puppy. I mean, don't know what was going on with Garrett, and this was just an implosion from LSU. There was actually one scene I have to bring up for this game. They're showing a scan of the stadium, okay? They're kind of cameras floating around, showing various spots. The stadium was empty. We see the LSU band. Their whole section is filled in. The rest of the arena around them, Texas A&M fans that were just hanging around to celebrate. This was bad. And guess what? Brian Kelly is gone. LSU, you're not making the college football playoff this year. Texas A&M, you are looking like one of the best teams in the country. That is for darn sure. Let's head to your right side of the board. We had Western Kentucky and Louisiana Tech, the Bulldogs. This was a great game. Maverick McElvore solidifying he might just be the best quarterback in Conference USA. They go into Louisiana Tech, though. They got it done. Western Kentucky is looking good. Louisiana Tech, you're now 2-2 in conference play. It's not happening for you now to get to a Conference USA title, but Western Kentucky, look out. They are looking good. How about Ole Miss and how about Oklahoma? Boomer Sooner. This is another one of those little preview college football playoff eliminator games. This was a huge SEC battle. Oklahoma needed this win. You're at home. You've got a top 10 team coming in. The SEC is stacked. The college football landscape is absolutely stacked at the top of the AP polls this year. Had to have this win. They don't get it. This was a high-scoring battle, though. Both offenses came out really firing, but it is Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin's got to be happy once again. His guys get the job done, and this is a huge road win that a week from now, I can tell you, the College Football Committee, they're going to look back on. They're going to like that win. Ole Miss, that is a great win. They get the win over OU. How about this? Now we had USF, we had Memphis. This was a colossal battle in the American Conference. And I tell you what, right now, USF was into the top 25. They were in the top 20. They were ranked at number 18 going into this game with Memphis. And guess what? Had they gotten this win, sky was the limit for their college football aspirations this season. College football playoff aspirations this season. Memphis, they get it done. This was a back and forth affair. Memphis edges out USF, and now the roles are reversed. Memphis is in the top 25. You've got a couple other American teams that are floating right outside. USF, this one really stings. Really stings, but now all eyes are on Memphis to see if they can potentially be that fifth team in the college football playoff. It'll be interesting to see. Our grand finale, it was Houston going into Arizona State. Arizona State, once again, there had been another team that kind of jumps into the top 25, then jumps out. Well, guess what? They were back in the top 25. Houston looked really good. This game looked like Houston was all in control. The Cougars looked great. Wait a minute. Late, though, ASU and Sparky, they make a little run. They tighten this thing up. Came down to the wire a little bit. Houston closes it out, though. They get a huge win over Arizona State. Arizona State, they are back out of the top 25 once again, and the Cougars get a massive win. That's our college football update. Let's go from college football to baseball now. What do we got? Here's what I'm going to tell you because we're going to talk about it in a minute. It's one apiece in the World Series between the Blue Jays and the Dodgers. We're in Los Angeles, Game 3, 8 o'clock on Fox tonight. We'll dive into that more later. That is the sports update. Let's get to the NFL.
1, 2, 3, let's go. Hey, are you ready? It's time for the Pwamps Show. Hey, are you ready? It's time for the Pwamps Show. Hey, Pwamps. Hey, Pwamps. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Pwamps.
All right, everyone, we are once again standing in front of our NFL info board, and you're probably wondering, yo, Pwamps, why is the entire top row on the right side empty? I'm going to get to that in a second. Now, tonight is Monday Night Football. This has been a ho-hum week, as I said in the intro, and guess what? The Commanders are still without Jaden Daniels. It's going to be Marcus Mariota making the start, leading the Commanders into Arrowhead to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Please, Marcus Mariota, make this game fun. Make this game competitive. This looks like, on paper, without Jaden Daniels, it would be blowout city for the Chiefs. Let's not have that happen. Give us a fun little Monday Night Football game. Let's do it. Now, let's get to our teams on the left-hand side. These are our winners. We've got our top row here. Who were the fun winners this week? Well, of course, it's the New York Jets. Jets were out of this game with the Cincinnati Bengals multiple times. Okay? People were thinking, oh, Bengals have got it. This is an easy game on paper. They took down the Steelers last week. No. The Jets were not being denied, folks. Running game came alive in the second half. Justin Fields, he came alive for this entire game. How about how hit with injuries? How hardly hit the Jets were hit with injuries this game. They were playing without Garrett Wilson. Sauce Gardner not in on the defensive side. The Jets A lot of people did not think they were going to win this game. I didn't either. They get a big win. They're no longer winless. The Jets are in my top row. How about the Miami Dolphins? Mike McDaniels, his head has been being called for, folks. People have wanted Mike McDaniels gone from the Dolphins. They came out and said, no, Mike McDaniels is our guy. He's going to be around for a little bit. They go into Atlanta. A lot of people think this is a trap game. You're playing against Kirk Cousins. The Falcons are going to just run you out. Is that going to send Mike McDaniels out the door? Guess what? Tua turns it on. He has a great little retro performance. Jalen Waddle has looked great for the Dolphins. Dolphins get a big win. They're back in our top row. How about H-Town, the Houston Texans? C.J. Stroud, he is regaining his regular season dominant form. Big win over the San Francisco 49ers. George Kittle, of course, it was tight end day yesterday. He had a big touchdown, but the Niners are still without Brock Purdy. They've got to get him healthy, but a big win for the Houston Texans as they slowly, folks, move up the AFC playoff race. Keep an eye on that. And then the Green Bay Packers, what can you say? The Steelers were holding the Packers down pretty nicely in this game. Jordan Love turns it on. At one point, 20 straight completions for Jordan Love. That is an unbelievable little stat if you think about that. Packers turn it on. They win this game. Boy, oh boy, Josh Jacobs, did the Packers look good to go into Heinz Field, get a win. I know Aaron Rodgers, this whole thing with like his playing for the Packers, he's playing the Packers for the first time now as a Steeler. That was an interesting storyline, but the Packers get it done. They're looking good. They're now 5-1-1, folks. Packers looking good. Other winners this week, just to point them out, we got the Eagles. They were in their Kelly Green. That was a nice win. Ravens without Lamar Jackson. Apparently he's going to be back Thursday night, but Tyler Huntley gets them the win. Chargers in dominant fashion on Thursday night. That was a huge win. Tampa Bay, they've been hit by injuries. Baker Mayfield did not have one of his best games, but hey, they still look great. That proves Baker is really, really an MVP candidate this year. He's looking great. Buffalo Bills, my oh my, this was a game between the Carolina Panthers and the Bills. Bills run away with. Patriots, Drake May, he's one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL right now. How about the Denver Broncos? They were in their throwback unis. Everyone was touting this great game between the Cowboys and the Broncos. Sean Payton, Bo Nix, Broncos look great. Then you've got Indiana Jones and the Indianapolis Colts. What can I say? They dominated the Tennessee Titans. They are now firmly atop the AFC. Let's look to the right. Now we've got our losers this week. The Steelers. This could have been a win. Like I said, they were holding down the Packers. They just came out on the wrong side this time. It's a loss for the Steelers. Titans, they lose this week. Browns, Dylan Gabriel, again, showing some more signs of progress. They don't get the win. Myles Garrett, 5 sacks, by the way, in that game. The New Orleans Saints, they end up benching Spencer Rattler. That was a big storyline. Saints just cannot get anything going. They're on the losing side. Again, no Michael Penix for the Falcons. This was Kirk Cousins. Nothing was getting going on the offensive side. Falcons, they got stymied by the Miami Dolphins, folks. How about the Dallas Cowboys? Just talked about it. They got thumped by the Denver Broncos. They're on the losing side. The Bears, this was a game a lot of people were thinking they should win. You're facing the Ravens with how they've struggled. You got Tyler Huntley at quarterback. Bears couldn't get it done. Now we've got a little news here. We get to the New York Giants. They've been, in the past couple weeks, one of the most fun teams to watch. You've got Jackson Dart and you've got Cam Scatterbo. If you saw the injury to Cam Scatterbo, oh my goodness, my heart goes out to the guy. It was heartbreaking. It was hard to watch. This is a young guy who's running. He and Jackson Dart, they're bringing energy to New York. A lot of people have been turning on their TVs. They want to see this Giants team. They've really become fans of Cam Scatterbo. You see this injury take place. This hurts not just the Giants. This hurts the entire NFL. This was a bad injury. And he's going to be out for the season. It really stinks for the Giants. Then we get to the Vikings. They're on our loser side. Bengals, we've already talked about. They're on the loser side. Panthers, boy, oh boy, the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton couldn't get anything going. They are on the losing side. And then the Niners. All I'll say is, losing side, you need Brock Purdy back. That's how it looks, folks. Reminder, Monday night, we've talked about, and there's nobody on the top row. Nobody, okay? Losers this week, nobody stood tall. I mean, that's as plain and simple as it is. Nobody stood tall this week on the loser side. That's our info board. Let's get to next week's schedule. All right, everybody, let's look at the Week 9 NFL schedule. But before we do, we've got a little change on the Pwamps Show set here. We're on our schedule, but we are actually going to be retiring for this season the Crucial Catch mini helmet. We're moving on to our next little cause, which, as you can see, it's already up there. We're talking salute to service. Obviously, we can pay tribute, honor all of those who gave their lives for us and continue to do so every day as they are out there on the front lines. So any merchandise that you buy from the NFL that is under that salute to service collection, it's going to go to the armed forces. Now, with that being said, Week 9 NFL schedule, let's dive in. As always, things start Thursday night on Prime. We've got the Baltimore Ravens. It is confirmed right now Lamar Jackson's going to be playing. They're traveling to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Tua and the Dolphins got a big win last week over the Falcons to get back in the win column. That's a big game Thursday night. Two teams that would like to keep the momentum going and get a win on Thursday Night Football with all eyes on them. Now we get to Sunday, the 1 o'clock slate. Here we go. The Bears and the Bengals. Bengals coming off that rough loss to the Jets. The Bears coming off a loss to a team their fans and they feel like they should have beaten. The team right above them here, the Baltimore Ravens. Big game Sunday at 1 o'clock at the Jungle between two teams who, this seems like a game where the loser, their season might just be over. Now we move to the Chargers and the Titans. Titans are just still reeling right now. They can't get anything going. This is a team now in the LA Chargers who need wins. The AFC West, put the Raiders aside, that is a three-team dominant division right now. The Chiefs are regaining that Super Bowl form. The Denver Broncos, they are looking like a powerhouse, especially on the offensive side. This is a game, Chargers, you have to win. If you want to have a chance at winning the AFC West and dethroning Chiefs Kingdom, this has got to be a win. In Tennessee, has to be a win. Colts Steelers, this is a huge game. Indiana Jones, Daniel Jones leads his Colts. Jonathan Taylor right now, he is looking like, and I know the MVP has been QBs. That's been a QB award. He could potentially be MVP. He could be Offensive Player of the Year. He's looked dominant. They head into Heinz Field to take on the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, they've now lost 2 straight games. Schedule does not get easier for the Steelers. This is a huge test, though. They're back at home. They would love to stop the mammoth that is the Colts team right now. That is 1 o'clock on Sunday. I'm sure that's going to be a featured game on Sunday. Now we get to the Niners and the Giants. Obviously, again, Giants without Cam Scatterbo. Jackson Dart still at QB. The Niners, is Brock Purdy going to be back? That's the main storyline. This is a big game for the Niners. The NFC West, it's getting a little crowded. You've got 3 teams at the top there. Just like the AFC West, the NFC West, it's looking pretty dang good. Rams look good. Seahawks look good. Niners, they just faltered a little bit with that loss. They're looking to get back, though, with a win over the Giants. Then we've got a big game, Broncos and Texans. C.J. Stroud, he's regaining his form. Texans offense is looking good. Nico Collins, looking good. What are we going to see, though, from this Broncos team? They had a huge game with the Cowboys. People were touting as, oh, what a game this will be. Didn't turn out to be much of a game. Cowboys got hammered. Broncos look great. And now we got that game 1 o'clock on Sunday. How about the Vikings? How about the Lions? Will J.J. McCarthy return to be the starting QB for the Vikings? The Vikings need it. Carson Wentz really struggled in that game at SoFi Stadium against the Chargers. The Lions are coming back off the bye. You never know how teams perform off the bye. Are the Lions going to look like a new team who's hungry and looks dominant like they did last year? Or are they going to be a little asleep at the wheel and give the Vikings a chance to get a big win heading into Ford Field in Detroit? Another 1 o'clock game, the Panthers and the Packers. This is unfortunate for the Panthers. Panthers were just a couple weeks ago a team that was on the rise. Bryce Young was looking good. He is now out with that high ankle sprain. Andy Dalton did not do much to spark the offense. You're going into Lambeau. It's already one of the toughest places to play. Then you add that the Packers are 5-1-1. I don't want to be going to Lambeau Field right now. That's a tough draw for the Panthers. Packers have looked great. Matt LaFleur's got to be thrilled with how his guys are playing. And Jordan Love, look out. he is starting to look like one of the best QBs in the NFL. Let's go on to your right side. We've got one more 1 o'clock game. Again, for the Falcons, another injury situation. Injuries are popping up all over the league. You don't know who's going to be starting. Will it be Michael Penix at the QB position, or will Kirk Cousins draw his second start? Now, Kirk Cousins, much like Andy Dalton for the Panthers, did not get much going on the offensive end for the Falcons. They are going to need him to either really step it up this week in a big game at New England. I mean, Drake May is one of the talks of the NFL, Mike Vrabel, with what he's done for those guys in Foxborough at Gillette Stadium. Patriots are playing with some real life right now. They are giving the Bills a run for their money in the AFC East. It's getting dangerous. Who's going to win that division? Is it going to be the Patriots? Going to be the Bills? I don't know. It's looking tough. That's a huge game, though. They need Michael Penix back. If it's Kirk Cousins, he's got to execute. Now we get to 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock window. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they're off their bye. They're traveling to the Death Star, Allegiant Stadium, to take on the Raiders. They are off their bye. Boy, oh boy. You'd like to think this is the final chance for the Raiders. It's been a poor start to the year. Your team is underperforming. Pete Carroll's underperforming. Geno Smith is underperforming. Eshawn Genty, he's underperforming. You're off the bye. Hopefully, you made some adjustments and the guys are in their right mindset, because your season is on the line every week from here on out now. If you're going to make a run to a potential maybe final wild card spot, big game though between Trevor Lawrence and the Jags and Geno Smith and the Raiders. That's at 4 o'clock. Then we've got the Saints. We don't know who's going to be starting. Spencer Rattler was benched. We don't know what is going on with the quarterback situation for the Saints. They're traveling to the LA Rams. I mean, the Saints cannot catch a break. This is looking like a real train wreck of a year for fans down in the Bayou. I mean, talk about college. Brian Kelly and LSU, season's basically lost. They're not going to be making the college football playoff. The Saints, boy oh boy, they're struggling. It's not good right now. It's not good down south for those guys. Playing the Rams, not an easy draw. And then you've got the featured 4 o'clock game. This would be the featured game of any week. Doesn't matter what time slot it's in. You saw these two going at it, you'd say, gotta watch it. It's the Chiefs. You know, Chiefs Kingdom, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, traveling to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills. This game is huge. AFC West is tight. AFC East is tight. Take a look at this. Patriots have a very winnable game against the Atlanta Falcons. They've got an easier schedule down the stretch. This is a huge game for the Bills. Bills are not usually in this position where they have competition in the AFC East. They need a win against the Chiefs. Patriots could move into a little firm hold of first place for a couple weeks. That would be interesting and something that hasn't happened to the Bills in a little while. That's 4:25 on Sunday. That finishes the 4 o'clock slate. Now we move to Sunday Night Football. A little lackluster. Sam Darnold and the Seahawks, who have been on fire, they're traveling to take on the Washington Commanders. If Jaden Daniels was playing, this is a star-studded Sunday night game. One that would give us some fireworks. He's not. It's Marcus Mariota, again for the Commanders. It's going to be a big-time game for the Seahawks. They want to get another win under their belt. Marcus Mariota's job, keep the Commanders afloat. Can he? I don't know. The Seahawks are looking really good. Tyler Lockett looking really good. And then on Monday Night Football, NFL, can we start flexing some games? That's my real question, because we're looking at this game and I'm like, what? Monday night, that used to be the night we want to see the big stars out. I'm not seeing it. This game's just not giving me that vibe. The Arizona Cardinals, who they have really struggled. Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., these guys aren't finding their footing. I mean, that's just what's going on right now in Arizona. They're not. They're in a tough division. Again, the NFC West is stacked. Okay? The Cowboys, I'm just kind of right now, I'm over the Cowboys. They're healthy. They need a big win. They got humiliated against the Broncos. The Broncos played them really, really tough, and the Cowboys did not look that great. Major game, though. Hey, all the eyes on you are on you again on Monday night. You need a win at AT&T Stadium over a team like right now how the Arizona Cardinals are playing. That is our Week 9 schedule for the NFL. Let's turn our attention to the world of college football. All right, everybody, we are here it is time for some college football. And you're probably wondering, whoa, Pwamps, I only see 6 games. I know it's usually the featured 4 and the other 4. This week, that's not the case. We've got 3 games. We've got the featured 3, and we've got the other 3 on your right side. Let's get started, and we start with the number 1 team in the country, the Ohio State Buckeyes. I will tell you, this is a trap game. I said at the beginning of the season, even if Penn State was healthy, I thought they were a little overrated. I didn't think they were the number 2 team in the country when that first AP poll came out. And holy cow is all I can say. I mean, the amount of things that have happened to the Nittany Lions with Drew Aller out for the year. You have no starting quarterback. James Franklin, he's out. It's been a cliff dive for the Nittany Lions. But this is a trap game for the Buckeyes. Easy schedule until that big game, the game in Ann Arbor at the end of the season for the Buckeyes. But this is the Nittany Lions. You saw this game on your calendars. This could have potentially been number 1 and number 2. This is a huge game at the Horseshoe for Julian Sayin and these Buckeyes to keep the momentum going. But do not overlook this game. Big test for the Buckeyes. Got to get a win, keep their head on their shoulders, and keep things going. Nittany Lions are looking for anything right now to just change the mindset at the program. This is a big game from the Shoe. You look at this game, though, and you think, whoa, we got big games. We're going from the Horseshoe. Guess where we're going next? We're going to nice little Denton, Texas, folks. We're going to Salt Lake City, Utah. That's not usually where you think the big games are. This week, they are the big games. Let's tell you why. We've got a huge game here. The Navy midshipmen, currently undefeated in the American Conference. Okay, that's a big deal. Blake Horvath at quarterback. He's a guy, he's a little bit of dual threat. Yes, passing is not his expertise. That guy can run. But if he needs to, he can throw the ball. He's a little dual threat. He's leading Navy to a great little season. They've got a tough test, though. North Texas is looking good. 7-1. Only 1 loss for the Mean Green. This is going to be a great game in Denton, Texas. One you don't want to miss. And guess what? It's always fun when I can highlight a team because also I think Navy's helmet is one of the coolest in college football. And when they're playing as well as they are, we get to see that cool helmet on a team that is playing some high-level football. This is a great game. Navy, North Texas, don't miss it. Now we get to our next game. This is a big-time test. Cincinnati Bearcats, they've got 1 loss this season. They haven't lost in conference play. They have not lost in the Big 12. They're traveling to take on Salt Lake City, a big-time matchup against the Utah Utes. Devon Dampier, he's looked great running this offense for the Utah Utes. He's the starting QB for this team, but the past couple weeks, he's starting to look dominant. This is a tough test for Cincinnati. Okay, Blake Sorsby, he's the QB under the helm for the Bearcats. Got to get this done if you're Cincinnati. If this win goes to the Bearcats, they might be potentially thinking about a nice little Big 12 title game with the BYU Cougars and Bear Birkmeyer. How about that? The Bearcats taking on Bear. That's kind of funny, isn't it? That could be a Big 12 championship game preview. This is a huge game, though, no. Saturday night. One we're going to want to watch. Let's take a look at the right side now. We got 3 other big games, and we start with the Virginia Cavaliers taking on the Cal Golden Bears. Berkeley is a tough place to play. This is a big ACC matchup. The Cavaliers right now currently ranked in the top 20. I don't think a lot of people saw this coming at the start of the season. They're a good little football team. Cavs are playing well. Big time ACC matchup. Cal's had a couple of upsets this year, though. This is a big game in ACC play for Virginia, though. We'll see what happens. That is on Saturday in Berkeley. Then we got a fun little game in Kalamazoo, folks. It's going to be Central Michigan, the Chippewas, traveling to take on Western Michigan, the Broncos. And I tell you, this is another fun game in the MAC. And it's interesting. Right now, Western Michigan, they're kind of running a little MAC gauntlet. Okay, they've had a couple of higher level MAC teams that they're going through right now in the schedule. They had that loss to Miami last week. The Chippewas, they're coming off a big home win against the UMass Minutemen. I know UMass is near the lower half of the MAC right now. I understand that. But a win's a win. The Chips took it to them at home. They're looking for a big road win over a front-running team in the MAC in Western Michigan. That is on Saturday. And then we get to our big game. I've given it a little bit of a little space here to talk about it for a second because, folks, that's right. This is an elimination game. The loser of this game, let's talk about the quarterback matchup. You've got Diego Pavia, you've got Arch Manning. That alone, that's like a heavyweight title fight. Diego Pavia, last week, he struck the Heisman pose in the end zone. Arch Manning was a front runner, potentially, for the Heisman Trophy. Has he had that type season? Not yet, I don't think people would say. Could he still turn it on here? Texas is a tough little late schedule. If he puts up some high numbers, you never know. But this is a massive game. The loser of this game, their college football playoff aspirations go bye-bye, I believe. Huge game for Vanderbilt and Texas right here. There were also going around just a lot of things going on with their coach, Steve Sarkisian, that he had told some NFL people that he was looking for an NFL job next year. It came out that he wanted to talk to the Titans. He immediately had a press conference. He shot that down. He said, that's ridiculous. I'm not talking about that during the season. That was never brought up. So a couple things going on right now for Texas that you might want to keep an eye on, but a big-time game in the SEC, folks. Those are our 6 games. We only have 6 because it's a little bit of a down week in college football. Another game that I do want you to just keep your eye on because it should be exciting. 2 top 20 teams. Keep your eye on Oklahoma at Tennessee. That should be a fun little SEC battle. Those are our games, folks. That's how it looks in the world of college football. Let's talk about the World Series. Boy, oh boy, folks, the World Series. Baseball in the spotlight. I'll tell you right now, tonight is Game 3, 8 o'clock on Fox. But let's take a look back at a little quick recap of what's been going on. Game 1 and 2, they were played in Toronto at the Rogers Center. It was Trey Yesavage going head-to-head with Blake Snell. That was our pitching matchup. And boy, oh boy, the Toronto Blue Jays took it to the LA Dodgers. I don't know if the Dodgers were caught snoozing or what. They put up 11 runs on them. Addison Barger had a grand slam in the 6th inning that sent the Toronto fans into an absolute frenzy. Blue Jays, they take Game 1. Blake Snell, he's pitched great all year. Just a little off, though, in Game 1. How about Game 2? It was the next night. It was a great little pitching matchup between Kevin Gausman for the Blue Jays. And unfortunately for the Blue Jays, they ran into Yoshi Yamamoto. He has been excellent in the postseason. He is the first pitcher since 2002, when Curt Schilling did it, to throw 2 complete games back-to-back in the postseason. Think of everybody in Bison, Okayama, Japan. The pride they have to be feeling right now. It's a little town of 32,000 people. And to think that's where Yoshi came from, that's where Yoshi grew up. Heck, I bet there are people who are thinking, hey, I threw catch. I played catch with him at the local park. That's pretty cool. He's been dominant in the postseason. Dodgers were great. Max Muncy had a big home run. They look good. They were able to take Game 2. That takes us to the now, to the present. It's Game 3 tonight, 8 o'clock on Fox. We got a pitching duel, folks. Max Scherzer, he's been good this postseason. He's going to take on Tyler Glasnow. Tyler Glasnow sitting with a .68 ERA. The Dodgers starting pitcher has been the thing that has been the anchor for this team. The bullpen has struggled. They're going to hope to correct that tonight. We've got 3 games at Dodger Stadium. The series is 1-1. I'm sure the Toronto fans want to get this back to Toronto, but I think they would settle for taking the next 3 in LA and just being the World Series champions. I'm sure the Dodgers would settle for taking the next 3 and being the world champions at Dodger Stadium. Is that going to happen? That would be tough. This is a great series with 2 great teams, folks. The Blue Jays and the Dodgers. Game 3 of the World Series tonight, 8 o'clock on Fox. I'll have a short coming later on. Let's enjoy it. Let's have some fun. Hey everybody, I really hope you are enjoying the Pwamps show. And hey, if you really are enjoying the show, why don't you go ahead and click subscribe. Leave a comment, leave a like. It would really mean a lot. Let me know who you think is going to win some of these NFL divisions, who's going to make the college football playoff, who's winning Game 3 tonight of the World Series. Is it Blue Jays? Is it Dodgers? You know what? Who's just going to be the World Series champion? Let me know in the comments. Everybody, have a good one. I'll talk to you tonight before Game 3.